5 of this cycle. This is our last week of this cycle before we go into testing next week, and then we're gonna redo the Wendler cycle in its 3-week form before we deload and then test our 1 rep max on week 10. Okay, so we really want to know what these numbers are, so make sure you're coming in this week and next week so we can get those tested and then move on. If you are just coming back to the gym and you haven't been squatting for the last 4 months or so, just remember to take it easy. Maybe instead of following the exact percentages for today, you're going to want to just work up to a moderately heavy set of 5. But today we're going to start out with some back squats. We're going to go every 3 minutes for 9 minutes, so you just have 3 sets. This is what we've been doing the last 3 weeks or so. Our first set's going to start out at 75%. You're only doing 3 reps. The next set again is just 3 reps, but this time we're going 85%, so a little bit heavier. And then our last set is going to be a max effort set at 95%. Now remember, these percentages are based off of your 5 rep max that we tested on week 1. So it's not based off of your 1 rep max, we're going off of that 5 rep max. So again, if you don't know what that is, you can either build up to your 5 rep max, moderately heavy 5 rep max for the day, or you can kind of just go by feel. But let's take a look at the back squat real fast just so everybody's on the same page. Whenever we set up, our hands are going to be just outside the knurling of the bar. We're going to duck underneath the bar so it sits on the median of our shoulders, on our traps. You're going to stand up with a nice deep breath, nice tight core, take a step back, set your feet for your squat. We always want to take a deep breath to brace our core before we squat. Hips back, knees out, hitting full depth, and then standing up all the way. At the top, we can let that breath out, and then before we go for our next rep, we'll take 1 more breath. And stand it up all the way. Then we'll walk it right back into the rack. Now remember, when we're squatting, our range of motion and our technique is way more important than how much weight is on the bar, okay? I know we're all just getting back into this, so always keep that in the back of your mind. We always want to have proper technique before we start loading on the weight, all right? Let's see what you guys can do with that 95% this week. Good luck. Moving on to conditioning. For our conditioning today, we're going to be doing some dumbbell front squats and some rowing. Now the reps on this are going to go up. On the dumbbells, you're going to start with 1 rep, and you're going to build up to 10, up by 1. And then on the rower, you're going to start with 2 calories, and you're going to build up to 20 calories. So it will be 1 squat, 2 calories, 2 squats, 4 calories, and so on until you get to the 20 calorie mark, okay? There is a 20-minute time cap on this workout, so when you're deciding what weight to use, keep that in your mind because you want to be able to move through these squats unbroken, all right? Now, you have a little catch here. These are one of my favorite things to do. Every 2 minutes, starting at the 2-minute mark, you have to do 10 grasshoppers. And we'll take a look at the grasshoppers in a minute, but first we'll start out with the front squats. Now you have your 2 dumbbells. You can power clean them to your shoulders or go into a full squat clean for your first rep. All right, whatever works best for you. But we're looking for 1 head of the dumbbell on your shoulders. Elbows are up, and you're gonna make sure that you keep those elbows up the whole time when you squat. They should never come anywhere close to your knees. So drive those knees out, keep the elbows up, stand it up all the way. I do want you guys to hold on to the dumbbells. We're not going to be setting them on our shoulders or holding them any funky way like this or like in the back rack or anything crazy, okay? I want you guys to hold on to the weights, elbows up, just like you would for a barbell. Nice deep squat every time. Again, trying to go unbroken or as unbroken as possible on those squats, all right? Unless you get stopped at that 2-minute mark, then you might have to drop them and start your grasshoppers. For the row, all right, make sure you have your feet set up where you want them so you can drive through the pads on the rower. We'll set it up to start at calories. Whenever I row, to get myself going, I have like a 5-pull start. Now you can try it if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But it helps get me going, helps me stay at a consistent pace throughout. So my first pull is going to start right from where the handle is hooked in. I'm going to drive back, follow through to the bottom of my chest. On the way back in, I'm just going to go to my toes for 2 pulls. 2 pulls to the toes, and I'm going to go back Okay, so full speed would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm already over 1,200 calories an hour, which is not something that I typically maintain, but it's definitely going to give me a good boost to start out my rowing. Since we are rowing for calories, I would like you guys to reset your monitor after each round so we don't get those ghost calories, all right? Nice and steady, just stay as consistent as possible on the row. Remember, you have 20 minutes. You may have to push it sometimes if you want to finish those before you have to do your grasshoppers, okay? I'm out of breath, just from that. All right, grasshoppers, this is one of my favorite movements. It's like a mountain climber, but you have to cross opposite shin to opposite forearm. This is really gonna work your core and your shoulders. When you get set up for this one, we're gonna start in a plank. I would like you to turn your hands out to the side slightly so that you can lean over your shoulders as far as possible. We're gonna bring our shin to our opposite forearm. We're gonna jump and switch, okay? The more you can keep your weight forward, the shorter the range of motion is between your shin and your forearm, the more likely you'll be able to make contact, okay? If you can't make contact, no worries, just go as far as you can, but I want you to do your best in keeping your front foot off of the ground. Sometimes I see people get their front foot stuck on the ground and then they get this like weird extra jump in there. I don't even know what's going on anymore. So we want to try and avoid that. So even if you're just back here, that's fine, okay? Just try and find that rhythm and keep it going. It is technically 20 reps because right and left equals 1 on this one. So try and get those done right away so you can get right back to your dumbbells or your row and finish strong within that 20 minutes. All right, good luck, guys.